Yo, what is going on, guys? It is midnight and today we've got some news on a new banner. Now this banner is actually the Sebas and Pandora banner. Now on JP they started with these units. Obviously in Global we did not start with them. However, they are the second banner in the game, which is a little bit weird considering we got the the Masked Momon last week, and this week we're getting these two units. Now the way I'm going to split this up is I'm going to do Sebas in one video, which will be today's video, and tomorrow's video will be about Pandora, to let you guys know if it's worth summoning for them, if you're free to play, pay to win, whatever you want to word it, and also kind of giving you a character overview for these two units. Now of the two, I will say now that Pandora is probably the better one out of the two. On the tier list at least, he sits higher up than Sebas here, but obviously that could all change with buffs and stuff like that. However, these two units are so old now, I doubt that's going to happen. So yeah, without anything further ado, let's just get straight into it. Obviously Friday I'll do a summoning video on these two units. I think I'll do like 1,500 maybe. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, here we go. We've got Sebas. Now Sebas is a tank. He's the first tank that we'll get that is 5-star in the game. And the way you can see is if you look at that little icon there, so it's got like the shield, that basically indicates that they are a tank unit, usually meaning they have a skill that either buffs their defense or a skill that taunts the enemy. So overall with Severus, he's a 5-star power unit, which is unfortunate because there are many power 5-stars at the minute. Obviously you've got Mars, Momon, you've got Albedo, and you've got Demiurge. So this would be a 4th. So if you already have those 3 and you get Sebas, you can make a mono power team already 5-star, which is pretty cool. So as I said, he's a tank role. His race is dragon. There's not really anyone at the minute that comes to mind that deals extra damage to dragon type units, dragon races. Basic attack, physical, so he's a physical unit as expected. Now with his stats, the only stat that really stands out of the bunch, and the only one that is good, is his defense stat. I think it's the highest in the game. Off the top of my head, at the moment it is the highest defense stat in the game. However, as a tank unit, you would expect to have high HP as well. That's not the case. The HP is mediocre at best. Both Irons as well as Albedo do have more HP than Sebas, which isn't too bad, but obviously the defense is the main stat on this unit. Now offense and speed are both very low stats, which is coming to be as expected, obviously, as it is a tank unit. These are the stats at maxed out affinity, as well as maxed out level, and also maxed out skills. So yeah, that's the stats there. They're okay. Now, takes more damage from wind units as well as from darkness. So if you do see this unit in one of the missions, then obviously using Irons will be very good, as well as Cocytus will do extra damage to this Sebas. Other than that, there's not much to talk about in extra damage taken. Now, skill number 1 is a total of 3 MP, and to be honest with you, this is probably going to be the most damaging skill for the unit. This is a skill that you're going to use if you need to deal damage to an enemy and you have MP left over. It's quite cheap, 3 MP. It does 118% physical damage and 20% extra to humanoid enemies. So by that means obviously people like Brain, Gazeth, just human enemies in general. The only one that I can think of at the moment in the game that would be good against, this skill would be good against, are the enemies that are like the wizards, the staff guys. But if we're talking bosses, the only one that comes to mind right now is Nigen. So you do 138% damage. It's not bad, but he's a tank, so could be better. Well, it can't really be better, to be honest with you. Now, the skill overall isn't too bad. It deals reasonable damage for a single target. It's quite a cheap MP cost, and obviously with the human that you use it against, it will do even more damage, which is very good. It increases your overdrive bar by 6%. So that's a new feature that's been added to this website. As I said, guys, in all my videos that I use this on, highly recommend to use this. It's very good. Now, the next skill is more of a supportive skill as well as a damaging skill. So same overdrive increase. The damage is pretty much the same, assuming that you're not using the first one on a human. The MP is an extra 2, so this is quite a costly skill. The only good thing about this skill compared to the other one that is different is the fact that it has a chance to inflict seal for 3 turns. Now if you don't know what that means that the enemy cannot use skills as long as you land the sealing effect. Obviously using a relic such as the one in the event, which you can get obviously by getting the coins and farming it up, you can get aim relics and you can take that up, but as it stands 59% is not too bad in comparison to Masked Eins, where his one is 65%, I believe, off the top of my head, 63%, and it's AoE. Now it's starting to hit you here now, guys. You're starting to realise. So yeah, overall, another damaging skill. Yeah, I wouldn't use this for damage. I would use the first one. It's cheaper, and obviously if it's a human, it's going to do more damage anyway. The only reason why you would use this is if it's a boss at the end and you need to try and seal it. Very rare and very situational skill, but nonetheless, it's there. With this next skill, I'm actually going to compare it to another unit so that you guys can get an idea why, even though he is the only 5-star tank at the moment, why he is literally bottom of the tier list next to Cocytus. Probably a little bit better than Cocytus at the moment, simply because of the fact that this is the only tank in the game at the minute that is 5-star. So, as you can tell, it's going to be a little bit more extra on top. Now, here we go, 12% increase on overdrive bar. Now that's not too bad considering it's a free MP skill. So compared to the first one, you're getting an extra 6% increase on your overdrive. So he's super move, I guess you could say. Now this move inflicts provoke. Now at max level it's 125% provoke for 4 turns. Now that is pretty good. 4 turns, not bad. Sorry about that, guys. I had to quickly go and do something, so I just got called, but I'll edit that part out, so you're probably going to see like a cut. But I think as I was talking about was the 125% provoke, which isn't too bad. However, for a tank, that is not good at all, considering you get ones with 150% later on, which I'm going to show you in a second. So this is why he's a weak tank. Not only are his stats kind of like that, but this provoke 125% is on the weaker side of things for a tank unit. So I would advise, obviously if you get him and you need a tank, which at the moment you probably wouldn't, I would advise maybe saving your gems. If you need a tank, I wouldn't really go for him at all, to be honest with you. And you also get 20% increased damage deduction for 3 turns, so not the full 4 turns of the provoke, but nonetheless 20%, that's not too bad. That's actually pretty good. That's the only thing that kind of makes this skill, besides from the overdrive, really good. Now let's go and show you. So you're going to hear a click here because the mic catches onto it. Now Albedo over here, this is a tank that you'll get later on in the game, probably the best if not the second best tank at the moment that's in JP. As you can tell here, it does exactly the same thing, physical damage reduced, so 150% provoke. Now the way this provoke works is if it was 200%, that would be the equivalent of 100%. This sounds very silly, I know. When your provoke is 100%, it's more or less... Okay, let's do it like this. So let's say 150% is 50%. So take away the 100. That 50% is basically like a 1 in 2 chance that you're going to get hit by the enemy. Obviously, depending on how many enemies there are, that could go up. But the higher the provoke, the more chance it is that they're going to attack you. Even though this is 150%, it's not guaranteed that every single enemy on that lineup is going to go for you. So you want that higher if you're actually going to use it. The 125% that the Sebas has isn't even that good, because obviously it's a lower chance that you're actually going to get attacked. So you're going to spend a turn using this skill, and for what you want to use it for, which is getting attacked, you might not even be guaranteed to get that done. Now his passives are 5% physical defense, which is really good for a tank, as obviously you want to be tankier, and you get humanoid killing up if you get him to level 100. Now this will obviously make even more damage to human enemies, which is still pretty good. Overdrive in general is not that good of a skill. It's literally 121% physical damage to 1 enemy. Naturally, it's not a bad skill, but when you compare that, which is 121%, to this, you can kind of see where it's not, there's no point using that skill. The only time I would use it is if you have no MP and you can't use this one or this one. Just use that. Like, it does more damage very slightly, but you know, I would rather use these skills here, especially if it's on the human, because you'll do more damage with this than you would with the overdrive. So in general, on the banner, if you're going to be summoning it and you actually want Sebas, the only reason why I'd go for him is if you're a collector, you're paid to win, or a whale, as people would say. You like Sebas a lot and you just want to have him because he is your favourite character in the show, or just one of your favourites in general. But if you're getting this unit because you think he's going to be good, or you need a tank, you skip. You do not go for it, because I'll be honest with you, like, it's not on there, but there's a new one that came out on JP. He's better. Then you've got Albedo. She could be coming out soon, who knows. And you've also got Alpha. She's pretty good. There's loads of other better tanks. Like, he's literally the worst tank. That is 5-star. Like, literally the worst. I don't think there's anyone else that comes below him. I mean, just because his provoke is so low and his stats are so low for a tank. So in general, I would probably give this guy a skip. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Sorry about the cut halfway through, whereabouts that was in the video. Obviously I will continue that video on. It's just gonna be like a sudden cut. I'm back, guys. So it's a bit awkward, but I had to quickly go and do something. So yeah, in general, guys, as I said, that's what I'd say about Sebas. If you want to know about Pandora before the event comes out, I'll upload a video about him tomorrow. That one's going to be a little bit better than this one, because in general, Pandora is a lot better than this Sebas on the tier list, on JP as well as on Global when we add him to the list. So yeah, and then I'll also give my final conclusion if it's worth summoning on the banner as a whole, because they're both in it, not just two separate ones. So if you want to summon for one, is it worth going for Pandora if you might get the unluckiness of getting Sebas? So yeah, I will talk about that. But yeah, besides from that, I think that is pretty much everything. So we'll do a Pandora video tomorrow, and then I'll do a summoning video, probably about 1,500 gems. Maybe 2,000. I don't know. Probably, it's probably going to end up being 2,000 if I'm honest with you. I don't need these units. Obviously, hashtag content all for you guys. Hope you like it. I'm losing my bank card for this. But yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. Do join the Discord. We are closing in on 1,000 members. I think as of uploading this video, I've just hit 600 subscribers, so almost there to 1,000, where I can start live streaming, and I'll start live streaming on my phone so that you guys can kind of talk to me live. But yeah, join the Discord. Make sure to subscribe for more content, and also check out the website in the link description if you want to know info about units. Not only that, about gachas, so like the actual banners themselves. I think he's got to add them, as well as the relics and the tier list. Now this is the tier list at the moment that was made on by me and another leader on the global server. These aren't according like going left to right. So for example, R1 would have Mare at the front and Aura at the back and Marsigns in the middle. Pandora is most likely going to be either in front or behind Marsteins, and Sebas will be in front of Kakaitis. So another A and a C tier unit, which can be pretty good. So guys, take care and peace out.